Welcome to the Grassroots Army Podcast. This platform is for common sense people looking for up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information without the hot garbage corporate media bias. The power of one can lead to the power of many. You never know what small act that you may say or do that may literally change the lives of millions tomorrow. And don't you ever think that you can't make a difference, because you can.
Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. Good morning, my fellow Americans. Holy cow, do I have some hot garbage for all of you here this morning. This is a special live when something comes off the press extremely hot, especially when it has to do with our public schools. I want to get on here and expose it and talk about it, because I can't believe that an English teacher would share this image to the class. Let me show you. This was in East Grand Rapids, Michigan. An English teacher gave this as an assignment. Let me get it on. There we go. Now, looking at this image, do you think it is appropriate at this time, in this political climate, to give this as an assignment, no matter what your intent was? And we all know that the intent was hot garbage. For anything to give these kids right now, this is not something that you would want to give as an assignment, especially with the temperature of politics right now, especially with not one, but two assassination attempts on President Trump within the last 2 months. Do you really think, as an English teacher that's teaching high school English, do you really feel that this is an appropriate image to give the students to do a paper on, to have conversation on? No, it is not. I don't care who you are, what your belief system is. You do not share something like this at this time in your class. And so many times I hear from folks in the middle that say, you know, they're not indoctrinating our kids in the public school systems. That's what? That's a conspiracy theory, right? We hear it time and time again, and we continue to expose the hot garbage of the indoctrination with this cultural ideology and this hate, with this orange man bad, with this evil, hateful political rhetoric that's going on right now. And it's mainly from the left. Does the right do it? Absolutely. But two wrongs do not make a right. This is just wrong on so many levels. So this was brought to my attention on a post last night. So I confirmed that it was indeed, in fact, East Grand Rapids High School, the English teacher there. And good job to the young lady who refused to do the assignment because it was targeted and that shouldn't be in school. Great job, young lady. You have every right. And the teacher did the right thing and gave her another assignment. But to do even this, it just, what are you thinking? Holy cow. What are you thinking? You're not. You're allowing your political ideology, your political belief system, and allowing these kids to know what it is. And it's wrong. Keep it out of schools. Keep it out of schools. The children, the teenagers, the elementary students, the middle school students should not know the teacher's political affiliation. Keep to the basics: math, science, reading, history. Holy cow, do you imagine if the tables were turned and some conservative teacher decided to post something horrible, busting on Obama, busting on Biden, busting on Kamala, busting on this alphabet mafia? Cities would burn. The teacher would be immediately fired and everything else. And that is what's going on in the public school systems. And not all the teachers are bad. I say this time and time again. But when you have teachers doing this, holy cow, do better. And if you're a teacher in that school, you got to stand up against this garbage too. By you staying silent, you're part of the problem. And I know it's scary, but you can't allow this stuff to happen. And here we go. The powerful teacher unions. And what they're doing is they're allowing all this money that they're getting to do what? Add more administration. It's not trickling down to the students and the teachers. No, they're just adding more administration. Holy cow, I expose school boards having multiple admins, paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and it's insane of what's going on. But I just wanted to get on here and expose it because that should not happen in our public schools, giving a student an assignment, no matter what that assignment was, whether, hey, write a paper on what your thoughts are on this. Hey, what are your thoughts? Let's discuss conversation. Not at this time. Holy cow, the president was almost assassinated again. And they're not going to quit. So do better. Be better. And I'm hoping that there's accountability on this one. So if I was in that community and this happened at my kid's school, I would be at that school board meeting and I would definitely have a problem. I would definitely have a problem with what they're pushing out and what they're teaching these kids, because this kind of hot garbage should not be in the classrooms. My gosh, I can't even believe that we're having this conversation. Along with boys using girls' locker rooms and restrooms and men competing in women's sports and the cultural ideology and the books that they're allowing into these public school libraries. It just, the list goes on and on. I can't believe we're even having these conversations. Unbelievable. And I will continue to do all of my part in exposing these things and getting this stuff out there because, again, what are you thinking? Do better, East Grand Rapids here in Michigan. Do better, okay? Moving on from that hot garbage, I want to tell you that is why I am helping the organization Get Kids Back to School. I had my man who's the leader of this organization on a few weeks ago talking about what he's doing, and he is helping school board candidates get elected. Good, common sense folks get elected. So we're trying to raise money for these people, these parents, grandparents, community members that are kind of sick and tired of what's going on with their school boards and their schools, and they're standing up, they're throwing their hat in the ring. So I'm trying to do everything I can to help them raise money so we can hammer down and take back our public schools. Now, it's easy because everybody says, take your kids out of school, take your kids out of schools. No, let's fight for our schools. Let's get the right representation in these schools, okay? So if you would like to donate $20, you'll get an autographed copy of my book, God's True Law, that I wrote over a decade ago. I talked about this time and time again. It's about 150 pages. It teaches parents how to check themselves, be aware of what they're saying, how they're acting in front of their kids, because kids' minds are malleable. What they see, what they're absorbing at this time is very important. And you want to make sure they're absorbing the right information and not the bad. Again, that's why I'm so passionate about what they're doing in schools, because these kids' minds are malleable. Okay. And they're at school for 8 hours a day, every day, almost throughout the year. So what the schools are doing to these kids is they're shaping their minds, and we see it. That's the indoctrination. So this teaches parents to clean up their environment, to make sure that you're doing everything you can. It doesn't teach you how to parent. It just gives you tools and stuff. And I wrote this book over a decade ago. Obviously, I'm a different parent. A lot of stuff has happened since then, and I was going to update it, but then the pandemic happened, and God put me on the path of politics, which I still scratch my head and wonder why I'm on this path. But I'm here in the fight, still standing up for you. So $20, we'll donate all net proceeds to getkidsbacktoschool.org. You get an autographed copy of my book, and then you can Venmo me the money at Garrett Soldano, PayPal, Garrett-Soldano, or if you want to mail me a check and use snail mail, message me and I'll get you my address and we'll go from there. Which leads me to my butt being on fire, being all around the state. As you can tell, I have been going around trying to motivate and inspire Michigan and America's greatest asset, we the people, to stay motivated, stay inspired, but most importantly, stay activated, okay? So we have a lot of events coming up. I'm going to do everything I can because we have 46 days left until the election. It's fourth quarter time, folks. And so I will do my part. That's why me, Pete Hoekstra, and my man, Kevin Rinke, who's been on the road with me, and it has been fun to share the pavement with Kevin as he's been going around with me as we continue to activate all of you. So we are doing this Reagan Ranch Family Fall Festival, October 6th. 2 p.m. It's on a Sunday afternoon. I'm looking forward to it because the colors are going to be absolutely amazing. In Hanover, Michigan. That's in my old stomping grounds. Onstead is the neighbor of Hanover, Michigan. This is where I grew up. So I'm excited to get back into that community. And you can go to jxngop.org or jacksongop.org to buy tickets. They are $35 per person, $100 family of 5. And you will get to come and hear us speak and ask questions. And that's one thing you're going to get, transparency, okay? I'm excited that Pete's going to be there, our chairman. He has been fantastic with the job that he's been doing with the Michigan Republican Party. He was thrown into the fire, and he's did a phenomenal job of uniting our party to make sure that we win up and down the ticket, okay? which again leads me to my next point. Holy cow, you have to understand this. And if you guys have been following me, you know I've been talking about this a lot because in 2016 in the race in Michigan, it was extremely close. President Trump won by 10,704 votes. That was it. So think about this. If this next election here in November in 46 days is that close, what does that mean? Well, we have 83 counties. And that means every single person, 20 of you in each county, go and talk and inspire and sway 7 other people to show up and vote or get in there and do whatever voting that you can. Early voting. President Trump is calling on early voting. So if you can early vote, do whatever you can because we have to make it too big to rig. Okay? If you go and sway 7 people, 20 people out of each county goes and does that, that's enough to win in 2016. So let's say it's that close, right? But here's another statistic that's even more powerful. There's 200,000 Republicans, not in the country, in the state of Michigan, who did not make it to the polls to vote for some reason. Jobs, COVID, didn't feel like it, didn't feel like their vote was going to count in 2020. 200,000 Republicans stayed home. Oh, we can't have that. So we have to activate all of them. So there's many ways that you can do that. To get involved, to stay activated, you can join TrumpForce47.com. Go there, they'll activate you, and they'll put you in touch with some of those voters in your area to make sure that they are voting. Take them to the polls, get them to do early voting. I do not care because the Democrats will just not go silently into the night, folks. They are going to fight, and they're going to do everything that we can. And our only play right now is have such an extreme amount of votes. Overwhelm the system, too big to rig. Then we can get the right representation. And then guess what? Then we have the power to change what? The election laws and do common sense. But people still say that I'm not going to vote. You're giving a vote to the Democrats. And that's another thing I'm going to end with is the write-ins. Okay. I'm hearing in some counties, these Republicans that lost in the primary are now doing write-in campaigns. Sorry, I disagree with that. I've said time and time again, look, I do not endorse anyone before the primary. I will not. I'll support my candidates, but I will not come out and endorse until what? After the primary, and then I'm all aboard the Republican ticket. I am. I may not like the person. I may not like the 80 or 20%, but they agree with me on 80% of the issues. I'm still going to vote for that person. It doesn't mean you don't hold them accountable after they get elected. That's where we, the people, has the power. But after the primary, doing write-in campaigns, you're hurting the Republican Party. You're part of the problem. Knock that garbage off. You lost. I get it. Do you imagine if when I lost the primary and I said, I'm writing myself, do the write-in, Garrett, and people were calling for that. Do a write-in. No. I got behind Tudor Dixon. And you need to do the same with every Republican candidate that wins in the primary. Because what's your choice? You sit at home and you're going to not vote for Mike Rogers because you don't agree with some of the things Mike Rogers did in the past? Then that's a vote for Slotkin. That means you're voting for Slotkin. Same thing with Kamala and Trump. You may not like Trump as a person, but holy cow, you can get on board with his policies and you can get on board with accepting and understanding that he's going to inspire change in our country, which is much needed because having Kamala in there and having Waltz in there as the VP will burn this country to the ground. They've already started the fire. Look at everything that's going on. I don't care if they cut interest rates yesterday. That's just a play. Our country is in trouble and we need an executive. We need a business person to be in charge. Again, you need to vote for logic and common sense, not buy in to this hate that now public school teachers are giving to their kids in class. I mean, still just mind-boggling that we're having these conversations, okay? So if you're a write-in candidate, no, support your Republican candidates that won the primary. Then what? Hold them accountable. Look at their voting record. Hold them accountable throughout their service. And then next election, if you didn't like it, try again. Try again or support the candidate that you think is going to be better. That's what makes this process so great. So do me a favor. You can all post this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but you guys know me. I don't care. I take arrows from both sides. If you're a write-in candidate, knock that stuff off. Support your Republican candidates. Hold them accountable after the election, making sure that they're representing you with asking questions, going to town halls, going to meetings and asking questions. And if you don't like what they're doing and you don't like their voting record, then get behind the person who's going to represent you and support them. Or if you want to be that person, go ahead. But activate. We need door knockers. We need people who are going to make phone calls. Trump Force 47. Okay. Join it. All right. So we'll continue to hammer down. I'm hoping there's some accountability in East Grand Rapids. My goodness gracious, if you're in that community, show up to that next school board and allow your voices to be heard. That is for sure. Let's hammer down. Let's get her done. Until next time, God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. And of course, and always, God bless these United States. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to go on Commie TikTok. I'm going to make a TikTok about that teacher and that photo. That's going to go viral. We're going to put the heat on. We're going to put the heat on. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.